Hickok 45 here. Finally got my hands on the old HK CC9. Yeah, see it? There it is. It's a 9mm. I guess that's what the 9 stands for. Let's just shoot the thing a little bit. How about a bowling? Woo! Yeah, pumpkin. It doesn't like pumpkins. Doesn't like cowboys. Yeah, feels pretty good. It's a little thin in the grip for me. As you know from the Sunday morning shoot-arounds, I had to put some Talon grips on it to get a little thickness there. It feels so much better. Many of you saw me shoot it already in the Sunday videos. Let's see if it's 2-liter worthy. You reckon it'll reach out to that there gong? I saw it hit right in front of it. There we go. All right. Let's just try a ram over there. Any idea? Yeah, I guess I starts any idea where they're going. Feels pretty good. Let's wear out the cowboys some more. Let's don't. 2 rounds is all I had. All right, I'm still operating on one leg. I've not been drinking. Okay, leg and a half, put it that way. So yeah, the CC9. I'm glad to get my hands on it. I've been enjoying shooting it over the last couple of weeks or so, off and on. I was really happy to get the grips for it because it just is a little thin. As I mentioned on the Sunday, it's kind of like a shield, but not quite as bad in terms of the thinness. And one reason I wanted to, I called Talon grips to get those is I really wanted to see what I think of this firearm because it has a lot of positives, and I didn't want that grip to be a big turnoff for me. And I also wanted that larger back strap, which I've talked about. I finally got the pin out, the roll pin out. Used a 1/8 inch punch. It's supposed to be a 2.8mm or a 7/64 is what they say in the manual, which I couldn't find and wasn't in any of my sets. But I bought a set, and I bought a really nice set with lots of punches. And I thought, this 1/8 inch looks close, and it worked. So I got it. So yeah, for your information, all right, in case you have one of these. So I don't know why they had such an oddball size, on something so common, changing out the back strap. But anyway, be that as it may, I got it switched out, and I got the grips on it, and it feels pretty good. It really does. Let me reload while I'm yakking at you. Let's try some hollow points in it. I've done it once, I think. We'll make sure it works. So you got your tritium front sight, XS sights. You got a serrated back sight that's just black. It's optics ready. It's really an ambi gun. They call it bilateral in their literature. So I guess that's the same thing, but it's really ambidextrous all the way around. And the thing about the thing too, as you notice, if you ever held one or own one, or can tell from looking at it, it's I'm a brain fade on my reloader. It's really a melted, snag-free firearm, just like Glock does. And it seems like so many pretty good pistols out there, they don't make that a priority. And that is a priority for me. I really like one that's snag-free, except for the sights maybe. And but man, that thing is melted and no rough edges. It's like they meant for it to be a carry gun. You really get that impression. And it's just a pretty neat gun. H&K is a really, obviously, most people know they're a reputable company, really good reputation. They don't have a reputation for inexpensive firearms, do they? But they make pretty good guns. I think we all know that. And there's some negatives, some things I don't like. I don't like the big rail on it like that and everything. But let's try these hollow points. Now, I read that it was quite a bit lighter than the Glock 26, because it's kind of in that size category. And I looked up the weights, and it did look like it was about 3 ounces lighter. I think I even mentioned that on a Sunday or something. But I tell you, I got a nice scale. Bought a new set the other day. I don't know what happened to mine. But it really is not a lot lighter. It's almost the same weight. It's less than an ounce difference, okay? So I'm going to get that out of the way. So it really is about comparable in weight to a Glock 26. It ain't exactly a micro 9 in my book, but I kind of like it anyway. All right, hollow point. Let's put a hollow point through that 2-liter right there. Yeah, just bounced right off of it. Underwood's got to step up their loads. Bounced off again. There we go, that one got in through that tough plastic. Actually, I missed it for some of you who don't know when somebody's joking or when they're not joking. Okay, looks like it feeds hollow points. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be out here shooting with something, especially a 9mm, that's going to bounce off a 2-liter. So if you're a novice to shooting, just don't pay attention to what I say. Let me thank the people that help us. Where I got this thing, got it from Davidson's Gallery of Guns. We get a guaranteed lifetime replacement on your firearm purchases. While you're over there, make sure you sign up for the Great Gun giveaway. Really appreciate their help. Great people. So, also, Silencer Central, big Banish suppressors. You saw one recently on a Sunday. They do a great job, and we appreciate their support of the channel. And SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. Get yourself some distance learning and drone technology, firearms technology. Get on the road to becoming a gunsmith. How's that sound? You could be as smart as I am and figure out how to change out back straps when you don't have the correct punch size. How's that? So I'll load this magazine, and where's my other one? I stick it in my pocket, my mag pouch pocket. Yeah, I did. What else about it? Yeah, it's about 7 bills, and it's a nice little gun. They do extensive testing at HK, as I understand. This thing was extensively tested, okay, in its development. I'll take their word for that. You know, sometimes we get the impression, don't we, that we are the beta testers, and that happens with some gun companies. They get out there and there's a problem, and it's just widely known, and the company gets all this bad publicity because of it. Won't mention any names, but that happens pretty often, it seems. So, you know, who knows? Maybe you've had trouble with this, but it's nice to know that somebody's testing their firearms, not using us to test them, hopefully. And it has the thing I kind of like about it is it feels good in my hand, even though it's a pretty small firearm. Okay? It has a lot of distance between, well, say the length of pull. Just, you know, it's what's called length of pull. In fact, one reason I brought out the VP9, this big brother, H&K, is I read that it had the same length of pull as this big gun does. And so I've been experimenting, and it really does. It feels, to me, like it does. In fact, this one almost feels like it has a shorter length of pull. So that's pretty nice that it does, if you have large hands especially. Okay, now it's not so bad or so long that, you know, you'd have trouble with it, but it's just nice. And then it has a length of pull, and I'm assuming I mean where the trigger breaks, because that's really what I like, because that trigger breaks out there, see, and then resets short. It's got a pretty good trigger. It's a little bit of a strange trigger. It's not a real clean break, but it's pretty clean. You know, nothing to really complain about much. What else about it? Like I said, everything's melted. I mean, there's no rough edges. Just pretty neat gun. It's got the loaded chamber indicator there, the external extractor. If you got a round in the chamber, it should show a little red. What else about it? You got, like I said, replaceable back straps. The one that comes on, it's the small or medium, whatever, and this is the large one I put on there. Not a lot of difference, but it helps a good bit, I think. And of course, it's all ambi. Like you got a rail, as I mentioned, I think on a Sunday, I would probably, if I really fell in love with this and it was going to be my carry gun, I don't typically put anything on it like that, light. I would be tempted to Dremel that thing off. That's the only obtrusive, obnoxious part of the pistol for me. Now for you, it might be essential. You wouldn't want it without it, but I can just see me with a Dremel tool getting rid of that sucker. And then it would just feel better. Can I shoot it again? Okay. What else do you want to know about it? Breaks down. It was typical, open it up a couple times, nothing exotic there to upset YouTube, but it just feels fine, and it's nothing too unusual as far as the barrel and all that. Now the barrel is cold hammer forged. It's all made in Georgia, in the United States, except for the barrels. I understand it's cold hammer forged, made in Germany. Okay, highly accurate. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to hit that 2-liter right there, right? Now, I also wanted to thank Alabama Holster. I didn't have a holster, of course, for it. And one thing I did want to show you before I shoot it. Yeah, this is actually a pocket holster from Alabama Holster. I love their holsters. Great little Kydex concealment holsters. Appreciate their support. I got a couple of them out here, and one in my pocket. Maybe I don't have one for a Glock 26. I don't know, but I put the Glock 26 in this one. It snaps in. Okay, just to give you an idea. So if I put this gun, the CC9, in there, it kind of snaps in too. It might be a little looser, but roughly the same size, same weight. Okay, in that sense, except it's got a longer grip. You got about the same length, but you got a longer grip on it. But anyway, in terms of the thickness, it's a little thinner. It's a little bit less than an inch, as I understand, just a little bit. And I can tell when I put it in here, it's a little thinner, but not much. Okay, so I like to do that. It's a real good, realistic test for me. Put guns in the same holster and see how they fit. So, all right, let's shoot this thing some more. CC9. Let's put one on the paper or two. How's that? Yeah, it shoots one-handed. Well, I hadn't tested that, have I? Hard to shoot one-handed when my right foot is not right. All right. All right, so I got a few more. Let's let them fly here on something. Let's smoke a little pot. It might make my foot feel better. How'd I miss? So anyway, the CC9 is an interesting pistol. It's one that you might want to consider if you're looking for a smallish 9mm. I don't know that I would consider it a micro 9, like I said. I think a micro 9, it needs to be as small to me as a Glock 43 or the P365. And there's not a ton of difference, but like I say, this is closer to a 26, and we may do some comparison, a video there too. In terms of weight and size and everything. But, so I would lean towards this as a belt pistol. I mean, you can carry it in your pocket. You could get a holster, put it in that Glock 19. I can carry a Glock 19 in my cargo, in my pocket if I want to, but it's pretty big, pretty heavy. And I did carry a Glock 26 in my pocket for a long time, and I could do it with this. But I don't know, there's so many great alternatives now that are lighter and smaller that shoot well, that it's not as, I don't know, I'm not as drawn at least or attracted to carrying a heavy pistol in my pocket. So this is closer to a 26 in that sense. So in terms of talking about micro 9 or whatever terminology you want to use, mid-size or whatever, but it's a nice pistol. I'm still trying to decide whether I just like it a lot or not. There's something about it that is attractive to me, even though it's got the negatives of the big rail and it's got a little more grip than, say, a Glock 26. Any other negatives? It's expensive. It's not as inexpensive as some of the alternatives, but it's an HK, and they make great guns. So anyway, it's an option, isn't it? It's an option. The CC9 from HK. I might bring it to you again. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok 45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok 45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok 45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok 45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.